Good morning. Another Monday, another week ahead of us, and it's going to be a fantastic week. It really is. Um, I'm just excited about the things that I'm learning, and I'm I'm thrilled that we have the technology to pass this information on. Anyway, today I want to talk about why things keep happening. Um, Shut this off. That I don't want. When we embark on a journey, just kind of to give you an example, I was having dinner with a really good friend of mine. It's his 64th birthday, and he's anxious about getting old, kind of thing, right? Anyway, we're sitting there, we're having a great time. He had made a pot roast. He likes to cook, so it wasn't like you have to cook your own birthday dinner. But so we're sitting at the table, we're all having a friendly chat and having a couple of drinks and eating this delicious dinner. And all of a sudden, a couple of dogs started barking at each other, and I didn't really notice it. We're out here, kind of in the country. I live in a resort, and there's lots of dogs around, and then you hear them all the time. But this got him really upset, and you could see he was getting so angry. What's going on? And you could tell he just wanted to get up and like strangle one of the dogs or something like that to make him stop. And he finally, you know, turns around over his shoulder and goes, "Shut the F up," and I'm kind of like, okay, so these are just dogs. They're doing what they do. And what is this upset all about? And I recalled that he had told me on several different occasions about neighbors' dogs that disturb him all the time, and he said every time we come out here, there's always a dog. There's always a dog barking and waking us up, and it's just why do people have to have dogs? Whoa, you know. So so the question is, like, for us as people who are kind of on the path, we're starting to discover that we have control over what's going on in our environment. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm wanting to kind of give him some tidbits about this is, because it's disturbing you, you're bringing it into your own consciousness. But I knew he wasn't ready to hear that. He's the type of person who, yeah, he wouldn't have been there. So anyway, I started thinking about it because that happens. It happens to me, and I know it happens to a lot of my friends who start on this journey of, self-integration. Really is what it is. You are getting more in touch with who you are as an active child of the universe, and creating your own environment, creating your own existence. Whatever is showing up in your life is showing up because it's going on in here. You're creating it. And there's things that bother us for one reason or another, whether it be a dog barking or whether it be, occasionally I have a problem where I am with insects, flying around, and they bother my face, and, I get upset about it. And I've been noticing, okay, so what's going on about that? Why am I keeping this activity active in my mind? Here's the thing. We are, in essence, like, before we came into this body, we were spirit, we were, source energy. And the reason we came to this existence was to learn and to grow and to expand and to learn how to be happy and excited about what's going on, and happy and excited about the fact that we can create. And so we see things that we don't want, and that creates a desire for something we do want. And so we we project a desire into the universe saying, hey, I don't want to be poor, I want to be rich. I don't want to be lonely, I want to have a relationship. I don't want to be overweight, I want to be physically fit. I don't want to hear the dog barking. I want peace and quiet in my life. And so the way this works, spirit, which is kind of your subconscious, it's integrated, it's part of your body, and it's here to teach you how to grow, how to experience a fuller, happier life, how to achieve all of the things that you desire. The reason why you don't achieve the things that you desire is you have something going on that is resisting what you want. And it could be created from anything, and a lot of times it's created subconsciously as we're growing, as we're maturing. We hear things from parents, teachers, the people that the children and stuff that we play with, and especially in the formative years. Well, good morning, whoever joined. Thank you for the little heart. So we develop ideas about what we feel should be the way things are, and then they become just a subconscious habit. A lot of times when you think about money, you get this, oh, money doesn't grow on trees kind of thing, or whatever was repeated around your house, or in the environment that you grew up. Those subconscious anomalies show up, and you have to deal with them in order for you to overcome the idea that there is a lack of money. If you want to become rich, you have to understand that there is abundance, there is more money in the world than, everyone could have more money than they could ever use. There's just that much. You think of, there's multi-billionaires, and I won't go into the discussion about why some people are rich, why some people are poor. But the thing is that because you have to overcome the conscious ideas that are restricting you from having what you want, your source, the part of you that wants you to grow, will keep bringing up what it is that you have to overcome, so that you can learn how to adapt to it, accept it, or change it if you can. So if something keeps coming up that's bothering you, you can't do anything about dogs barking unless you move to some place that has no dogs. We're restricting. We don't allow dogs. Whatever doesn't bother you, you have to figure out, can I change this? Can I get away from it? Can I change it physically? If not, then can I accept that that's just part of life and it's no longer going to bother me? Which is a lot of times the case. That's what You know, you kind of just have to come to terms with it. And there are things, of course, that bother me and bother a lot of my friends and bother a lot of people about, you know, pick any one of poverty or injustice or, you know, all the things that go on in the world that are not right, and we can feel it. You know, it's just not something that when people are discriminated against, or you know, there's so many things that are out of our control, and we really don't want to accept them as being okay. As far as, I'm not going to give blessing to someone who beats his wife. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, it's all right to, you know, to steal or to kill people or to, you know, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, this universe that we live in is a perfect environment for us to learn what we need to learn. And one of the things that we can learn, you know, for instance, you know, Gandhi chose to not accept what was going on in India, and he did what he could to change himself so that people could start to follow him and accept his idea of how things should be. But it started in here. It started with him having to say, okay, you know what? There are certain things that I can do. There are certain things that I can't do. And the more powerful I become, the more people are going to respect what I have to say. But I can only become powerful by changing what's going on in here. So, you know, when you see something or when you hear something that bothers you, that you don't like, you have choices. And one of the choices is to get angry about it, which doesn't do anyone any good. Your anger, you know, just puts poison into your system. It doesn't help the situation. It often inflates the situation if you express your anger. Like, I know for a fact that the people whose dogs were barking at each other were having a little giggle because they knew it bothered my friend. And, you know, so they may not have been encouraging it, but, you know, it's like, it was kind of humorous to them. But to him, he was getting so aggravated about it, and it was only bothering him, and of course everyone else at the table, you know. But so if you can't change it, then you have to change what, you know, your reaction to it. And your reaction, you know, to something that is just not right, in other words, abuse of any type or anything like that, it's not that you can accept it, but what you can do is you can say, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my attention away from that and put my attention on things that I like and enjoy. And this takes practice, obviously. You know, when something's happening in your environment, especially if you can't move away from it, but more often than not, you can, you know, remove yourself from the environment so that you're not actually physically involved in it. But don't carry the idea with you of how bad and wrong that is. What you need to do is now shift your mind to, what do I love about this life? And it could be just, you know, the trees and the animals and the birds, and it could be this person in your life that you love and adore, and get the feeling of being with them. And that takes all the negativity out of your mind and puts you into a state of euphoric bliss. If you really truly are enamored with this person in a relationship or whatever, but you can always find something to think about, all the things that I'm grateful for. When I get up in the morning after I do my meditation, I write down, I'm grateful for this and that and the other, my body, my health, the income, the work I have, my ability to talk to you guys and express my opinions and hopefully help you to, make some decisions about your own life. So shifting your mind, if you keep your mind on the problem will keep showing up. Whatever you resist persists because it's in your mind. It's Abraham Hicks kind of uses the analogy of, it's a stick, and at one end of the stick is what you want, and at the other end of the stick is what you don't want. And at any time you are on some level of the stick, you're either at, I really don't want this, and what you need to do is try and shift yourself towards, this is what I want, not this is what I don't want. This is what I want. This is what I want, not what I don't want. So when you're stuck with, this is what I don't want, I'm sorry. Bring yourself into a state of, this is what I'm happy about. I may not want this, but I'm not going to focus on it because I don't want it to show up anymore. And the way I can take my focus off of it is to find things that I'm grateful for, and to have the feeling of love and joy in my heart, and bliss about what the possibilities are in my life. And every time I do that, I move a little closer to, this is what I want. I want the peace. I want the love. I want the happiness. I want all of the wonderful things that this life has to give me, and that are provided for me. There's no restriction except for what's going on in here. So, and of course, a lot of times what happens to me, and I'm sure a lot of people, is I beat myself up when I keep going back to, this is what I don't want, or when I keep, resisting getting away from what I don't want. So I have to think to myself, okay, so you know what? I'm doing all right. And I want to do better. I'm perfect just the way I am, because that is the truth. We are exactly where we need to be on our path to learn how to be this magnificence. And it's a constant journey. It will never end. Hopefully for you will never get to, it's like when you go on a vacation, you don't, the end of the vacation is not the goal. It's the journey. It's the being on the vacation. It's the experiencing what's going on during your vacation. And maybe it's raining, and maybe that's your opportunity to say, you know what, it's still beautiful where I am. There's still the ocean and the beach, and there's still nature and whatever. But the end of, like the goal, which is really the end of the holiday, when you come back, that's not what you're after. What you're after is the journey. And so revel in the things that are being presented to you by source, by the universe. Revel in those, because what they are doing is they are giving you the opportunity to get past them. Every time you see something in your life that you don't want, that you have the opportunity to change, to shift, to move your intention away from this is what I don't want towards this is what I want. And when I get what I want, here's how happy I'm going to be. When I find that love of my life, this is how I'm going to feel. And the more you can do that, the more you tune your vibration into having that happen, and it's going to show up in your life. It cannot help but showing up as soon as you express the idea of having that in your life, and you tune your vibration into how wonderful that's, how beautiful it's going to be when that shows up. That's where you're tuning your vibration in, and you're allowing the universe to give that to you. And you're no longer objecting to what you don't have, which is not, not the lover, whatever. Now, of course, realistically, really having that relationship, as wonderful as it's going to be, there will be things in that relationship that you have to kind of work around. So that's more growth. That's the bigger picture. But it's holding the end result and the wonderful feeling about that and the gratitude that you have to Source for giving you everything that you desire. That's what's going to open the doors. That's what's going to allow it into your life. So when something bad, something that you consider to be bad or that you don't want happens, take note of that and say, thank you for showing me what I need to overcome. Thank you for bringing to my presence the work that I need to do. And I'm going to take that into meditation. Well, now that's actually for a different discussion, because taking that into meditation is going to create more of that. But taking the end result that, we don't have that into meditation is the way it needs to go. Anyway, we'll talk about that when I talk about meditation, possibly this week or next week. So when something shows up, if you make a note of it, this is the thing that bothers me, and these are the things that I love. So it doesn't have to be about that particular thing, but this is my goal. So this is what I love. This is what I desire. This is the good stuff. That's how you shift away from. But you thank the universe for showing you what it is that you need to work on. Otherwise, it's going to be there and you're going to be stuck. That's why things show up in your life that you don't want, so that you can overcome them and grow. So I'm going to let you go. I've gone way over time, so I know that. You guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I hope to get some time this week to do another broadcast. And quite possibly it will be about meditation. You guys take care. Thank you so much for watching. And please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. I'd love to hear the things that are going on for you. If you are interested in, just tossing around some ideas about possibly what you can do, or if you have any suggestions as to what you want me to talk about, that would be helpful for me to know, where you're at and what you need and how I can help you the best. So you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you next Monday for sure.